Alright, so the network went down exactly as the cutscene happened. Exactly, I was about to see the cutscene of the Radahn no cutscene. It went down. So I'm gonna find out if it actually was my own network or it was an in-game actually blocked scene that doesn't allow your PlayStation 4 to actually see the scene. Because then I'm curious about why certain streamers can see this and I cannot. So I'm assuming it's just something simple, like my network went down. But if it happens again, then that means for the PlayStation floor, you cannot see this scene if you're broadcasting. So I'm gonna see if it happens again. I'm gonna talk to him again, and if my live stream stops, then that means that I can't do it. So I'm gonna wait for a minute because YouTube takes a while to actually recognize anything that's under a minute. It doesn't record anything under a minute. So I'm gonna wait for about his little speech is done and see if the same thing happens. Maybe my network just went down. Maybe it's actually a specific block scene for this game. If it is, then I want to know what the hell. Why do people are able to see it and I cannot? But I don't think that's the case. I think it's my network actually went down at the worst time. So I'm going to speak to him again and see what happens.
Are you good and prepared, young chum? The fest... Before we begin, allow me to paint you the full picture. Radahn is cursed. Now he gathers the corpses of former friends and foes alike, gorging on them like a dog. Howling at the sky. But now, we must make merry.
O gathering of champions, the revels begin! The celebration of war! The Radahn Festival!
Yeah, it was my network. It just went down at that exact moment, and it's about to go down again. Jeez. I don't think I'll be able to fight him. With my network acting up like this, I don't think I'll be able to fight him. I mean, if I want to live stream it, I will probably won't be able to fight him. I'll have to do it on my own and then upload it by Share Factory. It doesn't really matter because I'm not actually doing any of this for entertainment purposes. It's only for me to learn art stuff and record my stuff and give information that people might find if they're interested in buying these games. Obviously people buy Elen Ring, but no one was buying Strange Brigade, even though that game is fun. I play a little bit of everything, so I'm not worried about it. Sometimes popular, sometimes not popular. So I give everything a fair chance. Elden Ring just happened to be one of those games I'm going to play. There's nothing super special about the Souls games in comparison to any games. It's just a good game. That's all. I actually like Strange Brigade. It's a very, very good game. Not very hard game, but it's a very good game for its age and for its budget. See, this is why I try to make it morning, because sometimes they could put a boss fight and block a door, so you can't get to your gray site to turn the time of day. And since my eyes are bad, and it's hard for me to see anything that's dark, and this is gonna be a little bit of trouble. So, yeah, that's why I usually play most games in the morning anyway, or at least morning within the game. But it's no big deal. I'll see how it goes. Okay, so maybe you can't use magic in the mission, or maybe it's I'm on my horse, but I can't use the magic. So I think that's what it is. I keep forgetting that I can't cast magic on a horse. So we'll see.
Welcome! The stars have aligned! The festival is nigh! Chet, are you good and the festival? But now, we...
Alright, so I'm gonna go under him. Next time I won't roll away from him, I'll roll under him. I'm gonna cast a Rot Breath on him, under him. Because he seems to be extremely weak to that. If I could catch him at least 4 times with that, I'll get him down to half health.
The stars have aligned. The festival is nigh. Are you good in the festival?
Before we begin, allow me to pay.
But now.
And that's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. Radahn is weak to Rot Breath, anything Scarlet Rot. Radahn is also weak to, like if you put Golden Vow on your weapon and you max out your any type of heavy weapon, like a heavy weapon, if you max it out, if you get it to plus 10 on any weapon, it doesn't matter your level is or your strength, if you get your weapon to a plus 10 to max that out, because if you max that out, max that to plus 10 of a heavy weapon, a Greatsword, a Halberd, a Greatsword, a Halberd, whatever weapon you have, if you max that out to plus 10, even if you are at level 40, level 60, level 80, even if you're at OP level, you max that out to a plus 10 and make sure your faith is high up, like 50 or 40 or 30, do Golden Vow on that weapon. I guarantee you will beat this guy easy, because it's not about, see, if you're, that's why it's important to have your horse, because this is a horse battle. So if you max out your Halberd or whatever Greatsword you're on and you're doing horseback battle, you do more damage when you're on the horse, and if your weapon is maxed out, you do more also damage on the horse, especially if you're using faith. Apparently he's also weak to faith, so he's weak to Scarlet Rot, which I use on him like 4 times, and he's weak to faith. I'm not sure if he's 100% weak to faith, but faith does a lot of damage after it did Golden Vow. And if your weapon is maxed out to 10, and as well as have a decent amount of strength, you can beat this guy. You'll die probably 10 or 20 times, but you'll beat this guy. It won't go beyond 20, because I only died to him four times. I died to him 4 times, and that's because I'm at level 190. But here's the thing, in every Souls game, it doesn't matter what your level is, the game specifically scales enemies based on difficulty, based on your level. So the higher your level is, the harder the enemy is going to hit, even though the enemy's health might not be high, but the damage they're going to do is high. That if it's the same as how the old school games like Bloodborne and stuff was. So I was doing high damage because I'm already OP, so that's already considered a factor. But the main factor is, if you're not an OP level, the main thing you want to have on your character are 4 things. You want to have Godfrey icon on, you want to have this on so you don't consume a lot of FP, you want to have a Cerulean Tear of, I didn't even use my Cerulean Tears, I didn't even use a single one. That's because this here, the Dragon Commune Seal, if you also max that out, if you max this out to 10 and you get this to at least a plus 5 or plus 6, and you have the spell Rotten Breath on, which is Scarlet Rot, his health will be knocked down to at least 25%. If your weapon is leveled to at least 5, and your Halberd is at 10 or whatever weapon, if this is leveled up to 5, his health will drop to about 25% by using your Rotten Breath like 4 times. Because if I'm correct about this, it's not based on how strong your weapon hits, because mine is based on strength, because Halberd is based on strength, so I level up my strength. But if you're not running with a Halberd or heavy weapon, you don't level up strength. You would level up something like intelligence or arcane. So what I did is, I know I was going to be riding horseback throughout the game and doing a lot of horseback fighting, and I know the strongest weapons to do on horseback are the Greatsword and the Halberds. So I him on horseback. He dies easy on horseback, you just have to time the horseback. But the thing that really did him in was the Golden Vow and the Scarlet Rot, because after the Scarlet Rot, his health went down 25%, and with Golden Vow attached to my weapon, I did enough damage to get his health to half. What Patches and the others were doing in the combat, they weren't doing anything. They were like dying. They were just a distraction. So I highly suggest, if you're going into combat, have Godfrey icon on to boost spells, have Dragon Commune Seal 6, have this on as well, and the Rotten Breath enchantment. Cast this Rotten Breath enchantment 4 times and his health would drop to 25%. Not half, 25, 15 or 25%. I think his health dropped to about 25% because the seal was 6. If the seal wasn't 6, if it was just base, his health would probably drop to about 10%. But the seal was 6. And the weapon I was using I didn't even use my wand. I thought I was going to use my wand. So all you really need is to have this to a +6, have this on so you don't consume FP, have Godfrey icon on, have the Faith on to increase the damage to your weapon, your heavy weapon, your halberd. If you're going to use a halberd or heavy, do it on horseback. You do more damage that way. And also make sure if you're going to take damage, have at least a strong armor on, because if you're not going to be doing a lot of good dodging, you want to have at least a strong armor on. My suggestion is to make sure your dex is at least at a decent level. Mine's dex is at a decent level. It's a 30. And also make sure your endurance is also at a decent level. My endurance is also at a 30. That's why I could be wearing the scaled helmet and twisted armor. Those are heavy duty armor. They're not stronger than bull goat helmet, and they're not stronger than Lionel's or Omen helmet wear by the Dung Eater. These 5 down here, these rows down here are the strongest helmets that you will wear in the game. But I'm wearing the second to strongest. That's because my endurance is at 30. So I highly suggest, if you don't want to take a lot of damage, make sure your endurance is at 30. And if you're not going to make sure your endurance is at 30, make sure your vigor is at least at 50. And if you're not going to make sure your vigor is at 50, make sure your faith is at 30 and your weapon strength is at least at 30. Because combine your strength, your weapon strength with your faith strength, that's the combination of both all at the same time once you use Golden Vow. So I was hitting him with a strength of 70 with a faith of 30. That's a combined strength of 70 and a faith of 30, as well as Golden Vow effect, Golden Vow's casting effect on my character's abilities. So yeah, it wasn't a difficult fight at all. I knew it wasn't going to be a difficult fight because I knew I was already OP level. I believe this boss, the recommended level for fighting this boss is a level 80 or 90. If you fight below 80 or 90, you fight at 60, 50 or 40, then it's going to be a difficult challenge for you. But if you're at an 80 or 90, that's a mid-grade, that's a recommended mid-level. If you're above 80 or 90, if you're in 100, if you're at 100 and above, then you already have a significant advantage in the battle. It doesn't mean you're not going to die, but it just doesn't mean if you're at 100 and above, it means you're just going to die less. That's all that means. It's most likely that you're not going to die a lot and you're going to get more hits off. Me, I'm already beyond level 100. So that recommended level 80 or 90 is already added to my already level 100. So he was going to go down regardless. It's just amount of times, how many times I was going to get hit before he goes down. It was simply about going in, doing as much damage as possible, not worrying about him getting hits off on me, because with the amount of hits I do on him, all I had to do like 20 hits and he's dead. That's all. The first 10 hits, he went to half health. Next 10 hits, he was done for, and whatever remained came from the Scarlet Rot enchantment of the Halbred. So that's how you beat Radahn. If you're below level, if you're level 40, 50, use the Scarlet Rot Halbred. He's weak to that. Use Golden Vow, and make sure if you're shitty at dodging and blocking and all that stuff, use your horse. Run away with your horse, hit him with the horse, run away from the horse, jump back on the horse. If the horse get knocked down, roll down to him, hit him a couple of times. You're not going to have enough time to like summon back your horse because he's going to hit you, so you need to whoop out your shield or at least dodge enough to keep distance, get back on your horse and do it again. So there's a method to fighting him, and I believe I would have died more than 4 times if I was under 100. Would have probably died 10 times. And if I was under 80, like 60, 50, or 40, I would have probably died 20 times most. 20 or 30 times. But regardless, it's not like a ridiculous amount, like 50 or 100 deaths. I believe I'm going to probably hit like 50 or 100 deaths when I fight Malenia. So, yeah, not that difficult of a boss once you already pass level 100. Below that, I mean, even as you can see, even past level 100, it doesn't matter. The boss will kill you if you don't pay attention to the battle. So the difficulty scales. If you're high level, the game scales the enemy's damage towards you on a high level, even though the enemy health might be the same. So he was dealing heavy damage based on my level. So the game assessed how it's going to fight someone that's over level, or at least that's how it used to be in the Bloodborne and Dark Souls 1. I'm not sure how it was in Dark Souls 3 or Sekiro or even this one, but I'm pretty sure if it's the same thing, it's the same thing. So I'm gonna continue on the rest of the quest. Hopefully my internet doesn't go down, and I'll keep doing this. Okay, so it's now on to Ranni's quest. In order to fight Lionel the Lionheart, the guy that I summoned in combat with me, that was in the courtyard of Radahn, you could only fight him. You can only fight him after you beat Radahn. I did not know this. I was looking for all different characters to bring to the Radahn Festival. You can't bring characters to the Radahn Festival. It's not gonna ever happen. You can defeat them in the world in their small quest lines, but you can't bring them to the Radahn Festival. They didn't make the game that way. So I'm off to finally continue Ranni's quest, because apparently Radahn was